Hey, it's Joey for Digital DJ Tips, and in this video we're going to take a look at DJ Pro 2 by Algorithm. It's the latest version of the digital DJ software for the Mac that takes advantage of artificial intelligence to help you out with your mixing and also includes some Spotify integration improvements. So in this video we're going to do two things. First up, I'm going to give you a features rundown of DJ Pro 2, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on the software. Let's get to it. Alright, so let's go have a look at DJ Pro 2. I've got it running over here in my MacBook Pro 15-inch, so this is what it looks like. And if you've been DJing with laptop software for a while now, this interface is going to be pretty familiar to you. The top half of the screen shows your virtual decks. I've got two channels over here, one on the left, one on the right, each with their own tracks. I've got a mixer over here in the middle, as well as the waveform display. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail over onto those things later on. And at the bottom of the screen, you're going to find the browser. So this is where you're going to have your music, you're going to have your videos, and even your photos. Because yes, DJ Pro 2 has a new photo mix feature that lets you create a slideshow that is tempo synced with whatever track that you've got playing. I'm going to give you guys a bit of a demo of that later on in this video. So now let's turn our focus back over onto the top half of your screen, which has our virtual decks. So as I mentioned, I got two tracks over here. You're going to find the title of the tracks over here at the very top of the screen, as well as the artist name, the musical key, and the key has a drop-down arrow because you can change the pitch or the musical key of the entire track just by clicking on these arrows. You can even match both decks together if you want to do some key mixing between two songs that are of different musical keys. Very, very handy for you guys who love doing key mixes for your DJ sets. And apart from that, you also have your time left counter over here. Now you're going to see a waveform at the bottom of the title, and you can use this to skip across the track. This is basically an overview of your entire tune. And over here in the middle, you're going to find the waveform display, which is a zoomed in version of the same waveform. Now, it's displaying it in a vertical manner. You can change this by left clicking on the drop down over here and choosing waveform. So now you're going to see them in a horizontal orientation. So depending on how you'd like to do your beat mixing, if you want to view your waveforms either horizontally or vertically, you can change that. And also, if you don't want to see waveforms, you can just left click on vinyl mode over here from that same drop down menu. And you're going to see a graphic representation of a piece of vinyl on a turntable. You can left click on that and you can scratch it if you like. Of course, you can do the same thing with the waveforms. You can just left click on the waveform to grab it and you can do your scratching. Right, so that's it for the displays. And over here, let's take a closer look at the transport controls. You've got play, you've got set, which sets the cue point. Let's say you want to set that as a cue point. You can just keep on coming back to that if you press this button, like so. And you've also got your looping controls in here. Left clicking on it engages the loop, and you can choose from 4 beats all the way up until 32 beats. And to disengage the auto loop, all you got to do is to left click on it. So there you go. You also got 3-band EQ over here, low, mid, and high. Double clicking them snaps them back to the 12 o'clock default position. There you go. Very, very nice. Now, let me just go back to vertical waveforms because I like seeing my waveforms this way. You're going to find over here in the middle, you got your volume faders for both decks, as well as a crossfader for fading between the two decks. And also you got your low pass and high pass filter, kind of like the sound color effects over on a DJM mixer. Again, if you want to return it to the default position, just double click on it. There you go. Now, you do have this 2-channel mode, which is the default setting of DJ Pro 2. However, you can also have 4 decks. If you are a 4-deck mixer, you can do that. Just clicking on this drop down over here shows you the waveforms in either a vertical orientation or horizontal. Let's add some more tracks over here. And add one here at the bottom too. I think I have that already. Let's try this one here. Yeah, there you go. So in this display, you're gonna find the transport controls here at the bottom. Let's just stop that. So there is one for each deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. That's the way 4 decks looks in djay Pro 2. Again, this is the horizontal waveform if you want to check how it looks like. With the vertical waveforms, there you go. So the screen starts to look a little bit cramped, especially if you are on a smaller Mac. Let's say you've got the 13-inch MacBook Pro or even the 12-inch MacBook. I'm guessing this is going to look a little bit of a tight squeeze, and it just depends on the way that you DJ. Personally, I like using just 2 decks, so I'm going to go back to this display. So that's it for the different types of usage you can have. Also, if you would like to use the new Automix AI feature, all you got to do is to left-click on this button over here at the top, which goes into 1 deck mode, and then this is what it looks like. So if you press play here, this is a track that's currently playing, and then you can just load the next track, whether that is on a playlist, or you can just, drag it. Let's say you want to play this song next, just left click on that, drag it on over here, and djay Pro 2 will analyze that track. And once it's done analyzing it, you can just left click on this button over here to mix the track in. Now, there are different styles of mixing available in djay Pro 2. If you left click on the drop down, you're going to find different types of transitions: fade, EQ, filter, echo, break, and reverse. These give you different types of mixing effects or transition styles. So let's just say I want to go for the filter. You can also set the duration, if it's automatic or manual. With manual, you can set for how long you'd want the transitions to be made. If you want it to be super quick, you can go with like 1 bar or even 1 second. Or if you want to do something that's more akin to, I don't know, Carl Cox or Sasha with those really nice long blends, you can set like a larger amount of bars. Let's try to go for like 8 bars and see what happens. Also, tempo adjust lets you choose whether you want it to sync. That will sync up the next track over onto the BPM of the track that you've got currently playing. Or if you use morph, well, djay Pro 2 will change the tempo of the track that's coming up next, either slow it down or speed it up. And then after that, it will slowly return to its default setting. So let's choose a shorter mix and see how that sounds. Let's try that again. So this one is a shorter mix. When it says bars over here, I think that is the overall mix from the mix in to the mix out point. So depending on the style of transition that you're making, it'll probably like add some effects over there, as well as like a bunch of different types of transition points. So you'll have one last try here. So that's a lot faster, and if we're gonna go a little bit slower, let's try for 16 bars, see what happens. Yes, so now it's a much longer wait going over on to the next song because, well, we used the echo transition, which gives it like an echo out fade. So there's a little bit more time in between the mix. So again, that's what djay Pro means when you're setting the bar length of the mix. So there you go, that's auto mix for you. Very, very handy. Of course, if you don't want to keep on pressing the mix button, all you got to do is to go to auto mix over here and enable auto mix at the bottom. And you're going to add auto mix Q. Here we are. So let's say I want all these tracks over onto auto mix. And I can just click start auto mix, and I can just leave it at that. So let's say I'm doing a wedding and it's cocktail hour and I don't necessarily have to be behind the DJ booth. Instead of just leaving my iPhone or iTunes playing a playlist of songs, I can have djay Pro 2 run through my auto mix playlist and can just play all of those songs for me without having me to intervene at any point, and that also means that the songs themselves will be mixed as opposed to just waiting for a song to finish before the next one begins. So I think that is super handy for mobile and professional DJs, and that's a really cool feature there. Right, so let's stop that. Now let's go back to 2-deck mode. And let me just show you really quickly the other advanced features that djay Pro 2 has. First up, if we left click on this toggle button here at the top of the screen, you're going to find your sampler. You got samples over there, and you've got 5 that you can choose from. So essential sound effects, which are different effects that you can use. You also got something by DJ Qbert, and also milk and sugar. Cool. And apart right now, you can see like 6 sample pads. You can have that up to 12, so it's gonna double up, and of course you're gonna find other samples in here. Cool. So that's it for the sampler. Let me just show you the effects section. You've got 3 effects banks here that you can fill, and djay Pro 2 comes with 5 effects in its essentials pack, and there are others that you can buy, and these are all developed in conjunction with Sugar Bytes, very popular plugin developer for digital audio workstations. DJ producers love the plugins that it make, and you can find that in djay Pro 2. Of course, you got to go to the store and buy them if you would like to add them in your tool set. So you've got 3 banks in here again, and you can choose any effect that you like, toggle them on and off with these switches over here, and also the dry wet knob. Really cool. Right, so apart from the effects section that pops up here in the middle, let's toggle that out. You can also left click on the tools button over here, which shows you an expanded tool set for the virtual decks. You already have your cue points here. Earlier we only had 1 cue point, now you've got 3, and you can even toggle these to have up to 8. So if you notice, you've got a cue point over here and a cue point over here on the right side. That's because these are 2 windows that are actually customizable. So instead of showing 2 cue points, as in this case, you don't need that. You can just left click on any of the 3 switches here at the bottom to show a different kind of window. Left click on this, you're going to find looping controls, and there are different types of looping controls here. You've also got something that sounds like roll with a filter, very cool. And you got manual loop controls, and also you can have a bank of saved loops that you've prepared ahead of time. And apart from that, you can also left click on effects, and now you've got the effects in a touchpad interface. That means that apart from the effects, you can also engage the high pass and low pass filter using just a 1 control. Very handy for making some cool touch-based modulation effects. Ah, that's so nice. Yeah, there you go. So that's it for the advanced features over here in the decks. And now let's turn our attention over to the bottom half of the screen. One of the big new features in djay Pro 2 are the unified music playlists. So if you left click on this one in my library, you can see that I've already made a playlist over here called Moomba Pop. So this is actually a track that's from Spotify. This is from the Spotify playlist, and I've just added it on over here. And also over here, I've got a track that belongs in my hard drive. Just stop that. So now what we're seeing is 2 different types of libraries. Number 1 is music that comes from a streaming library, which is Spotify, which has over 30 million plus songs. And second is the library that I've got in my hard drive. So this is what DJ Pro 2 means when it has a unified music library. Now you can create playlists that have songs from both Spotify and your hard drive. So that makes for some really, really cool, really large, I would say, playlist that you can call on when you have a house party, if you're entertaining friends and all that stuff. Instead of just having Spotify on your phone playing or Spotify on your laptop playing, you can fire up DJ Pro 2 and have it even do some auto mixing for you, which I think is like a super cool idea. Start an auto mix with the music here, and you're off to the races. You don't have to mess around with it for the rest of the evening. So really, really nice. And another cool feature here for the library is that you've got filter characteristics. So let's say you're on Spotify. Again, DJ Pro 2 has Spotify integration, and at the moment, it's the only DJ software on the Mac that comes with Spotify baked in. Virtual DJ 8 used to have that, but they shut it down like a few months back. I don't know if it's going to come back on by the time that you watch this, but at the moment, there is no other DJ software that allows you to spin with music from Spotify using your laptop. So let's say I've got my Spotify over here, and I'm gonna go to one of my favorite playlists ever. So let's let that load. And I am going to left click on this button, which is the filter button. And then now I can set different categories to filter out tracks that I would like to be sorted. So let's say I'm playing a Moomba and future bass sort of DJ set. I'm going to left click on this, and I'm going to put BPM, so 100 BPM. 210, because generally like a lot of Moomba and future bass fall within this range. I'm going to go to that. And then for musical key, if I left click on that, I'm going to find all the tracks in that playlist that are in the same musical key of C. So you've got this one by Camila Cabello, Selena Gomez, Kygo, Halsey, and so on. So if I change that, let's say I want something in the key of D. Now I'm given these songs, which again is super handy if you are key mixing and you want your songs to be as musically cohesive as possible. Apart from BPM and key, if you left click on the plus icon here, you're going to find other filters that you can drop in. You've got album, artist, date added, key title. Let's say you want to go to artist, and I want to be like, I want to look for songs that all have Taylor Swift in them. So I'm going to go to that. And finally, I have this song, which is Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, and feature track. If I left click on key to disable that, I'll be given other results that have Taylor Swift that don't necessarily belong to the key of D. Unfortunately, there aren't any in this playlist. So right now, this is all I've got. So, I can just either drop that over onto the decks or drop that in my auto mix if I want to do that. So there you go. Filtering, super, super handy, because again, you're basically dealing with music from like the largest collection of songs available in a music service. And it is handy to have a filtering option like this, because that means that you don't have to go through tracks one by one in order to zero in on songs that would fit a certain parameter or certain set of parameters that you would like to have in your mix. So that's it for Spotify and also the filter and unified playlist. I just want to show you very, very quickly what iTunes looks like. So these are all the playlists that I've made in iTunes, and they show up just fine over here in DJ Pro 2, which is nice. And also I've got like a bunch of different songs in here. These are all stuff that I bought on Apple Music, I've got on Beatport and other online stores. So they all appear here really, really nicely. Much nicer than other DJ software, I would say. You also have this cover flow version, which shows you the album art of everything. So when you're in a pinch and you can only recognize a song by the album art instead of the artist and name, it happens to me sometimes, you've got this option. So you can scroll down and Oh, it's me without a beard and mustache. So yeah, it's just a really handy way of looking for like a lot of different tracks that you've got in your playlist or library. Okay, so that's it for iTunes. Now, I just want to give you guys a quick glimpse of the video mixing features that are found on DJ Pro 2. At the moment, it's one of the most powerful, I would say. If you left click on this in the videos browser, you're going to find all the videos that you've got on your drive. Demo content is there. The stuff that basically ships with DJ Pro 2. You left click on movies, you're going to find all the movies that you've got in your laptop in the movies folder, and iTunes also shows you all of those videos that you've got. So right now we still got our virtual decks here in the top half of the screen. Got our music decks. I'm gonna left click on the screen over here on the upper right. The screen icon gives you the video playback interface, and you're gonna find two decks over here, one on the left, one on the right, and one on the middle. This one shows you what is currently being displayed in an external screen that you've got connected, whether that's an LED wall, a projector, maybe it's just a flat screen TV that you've got at your pub or bar gig that's showing video. This is what is currently going to be displayed. You've also got a crossfader at the bottom and different transitions. So right now we're seeing the left deck, move to the right, seeing the right deck. This is my friend. This was when we were having a bagel bake in I think this was in Brick Lane in London. So let me just go through the three different types of visuals or videos or graphics that you can show over here in video mode. So if you left click on this, you're going to be able to drop in videos. So let's say it's this one. And if you hit play, the music's going to play in the background, and at the same time you're going to find the video playing back as well. And that means that if you scratch or rewind or do any sort of manipulation to the deck, the video follows suit. So that's very, very cool. This is pretty standard with other digital DJ software that have video mixing baked in. So apart from that, you also have this icon, which is the visualizers icon, and DJ Pro 2 comes with 5 different types of visualizers. So these are graphics that respond to the music based on the energy and the tempo and all that other stuff. So it's really, really cool. Let's say you don't have like a large collection of videos or media in your library or on your laptop. Using visualizers like this means that you'll basically have a never-ending flow of graphics that's being displayed on screen that react in time with the music, as well as interact with the energy of the track. Okay, we've got cube, halos. This is nice. Levels, particles, which is what we saw earlier. Super cool. And triangles. Yeah, I kind of like this. This is great. I'd love to see something like this in a club. That's awesome. Okay, and then apart from the visualizer and the video, you also have the new photo mix mode, and that's enabled by left clicking on this icon over here. Currently, I've got this picture set there, so let's just pick a couple more and let's drag it on over to the left deck. At the moment, the cool thing about this is DJ Pro 2 culls images from moments on your iPhone. This is basically a setting that automatically uploads photos that you've taken and then arranges it neatly into like different dates and folders. So as long as you've got nothing naughty in any of your iPhone memories, or if you haven't taken anything like that, you can just left click on any of this. That's on me doing my crate digging, so you can left click on that, go. One of my favorite artists over here. This is the guy from Phonica who was really, really helpful. Helped me pick out a couple of great tunes. So just left click on them, drag it on over to the deck. And now if you press play, all the photos will cycle through depending on the beat length that you've got. You can set from 1 beat all the way up to 4 beats for just a little bit. Yeah, so it's going to show those photos for a little bit longer than if they were in 1 beat. So let's add some more photos in there. So that's me and Gareth, one of our loyal readers here at Digital DJ Tips. So let's go through a couple more photos here. Yeah, so these are all pictures basically of my London trip recently. And I think it's really cool that you've got this option. Again, if you don't have a lot of videos, but well, you do have some photos, you can use that to create an automated slideshow that is in time with the music that you're playing. And also, that means that you really don't have to mess around with stuff so much. Alright, so what are my thoughts on DJ Pro 2? Well, I liked a couple of things about it. First up is the graphic user interface. It's got a really nice, streamlined, flat look, very contemporary. It sits right at home with the rest of the apps made by Apple over on the App Store. It does look like a professional piece of DJ software. It doesn't look toyish or it doesn't look too garish. It just has a nice, understated interface that shows you more power when you need it and hides when you don't. A lot of it has to do with the way that Algorithm integrated the advanced tools, which you can find at the top of the screen. If you don't want to see your hotkeys, if you don't want to see the sampler, as well as the touchpad effects and all of those other added features, you can just hide them, and that gives you a really, really clean interface that you can work with during your DJ sets. Of course, if you need more power and extended functionality while you're DJing, all you gotta do is to toggle those extended menus by clicking on the buttons at the top of the screen, and voila, they show up in the middle of the interface. It's kind of like how Rekordbox DJ works, and also Serato DJ. Now, the second thing that I liked is the AI Auto Mix. It's handy for professional and mobile DJs who do more than just spin at the after party. Let's say you are piping in music during the registration of an event or during cocktails, and instead of just playing an iTunes playlist from start to finish, you can use the AI Auto Mix to at least create some transitions between songs, and at the same time, it helps you look for tunes that would fit with the rest of your playlist. Of course, this is via the match feature, which can also be used to access songs on Spotify or over in your local hard drive. Now, the third thing that I liked about DJ Pro 2 is the hardware compatibility. Of course, you can just spin using your laptop, keyboard, and mouse, but it's a lot more fun if you've got a DJ controller hooked up to your laptop controlling DJ Pro 2. There's a full list of hardware-compatible controllers over on the Algorithm website, but more than just the controllers, it also works with a CDJ2000 Nexus system. So that's really cool because that means you can turn out the club, plug in your laptop to your Nexus set, and you can get spinning. It's an integration that you can find with the big three DJ software, Traktor Pro 2, Serato DJ, and Rekordbox DJ. So I think that's awesome. This is something that club DJs can actually try and see if they like. I also like the Photo Mix VJ feature because that means even though I don't have any videos, I'm bound to have like a couple of photos over in my laptop's hard drive, so I can just drag that on over to a video deck and create a slideshow that is tempo synced to whatever I'm playing. Pretty handy for mobile gigs or even bar and pub gigs. Now, the only thing that I didn't like about DJ Pro 2, well, it's not so much that I didn't like it, but I just feel like it didn't really add too much new things into the mix. Of course, you've got your artificial intelligence in there, you've got machine learning, and also the match feature, but these are all things that more or less exist on other forms of DJ software. Virtual DJ 8 has the track recommendation feature. Now, just because these improvements aren't groundbreaking doesn't mean they're not good or they're not useful, because, well, they are, especially as I mentioned, if you are a mobile or professional DJ. Just don't expect these improvements to be massive changes to the way that DJ Pro works. This version is more of an evolution of the software rather than a revolution. So that's it for this talk-through video of DJ Pro 2. I've got the full review of it over at the Digital DJ Tips website. The link is in the description box below. Hit the thumbs up icon if you like this video and hit that subscribe button if you are not a subscriber yet. My name is Joey. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.